You're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one patient per year who might not have access to proper oral health care. Join me in making a difference.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Back for Rantanen. Rantanen, all kinds of room. He scores! Mikko Rantanen has Dallas on the board. Rantanen again. Rantanen scores! The former Colorado Avalanche star has scored twice to tie it for Dallas. 15.2 to go. Sagan got it out. Rantanen again. Unbelievable. A legendary performance by Rantanen against his former team.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's the Adam Gold Show. What is up? Oh, geez, that's a little loud. I apologize. Hey, we'll get a chance. Mikko Rantanen, we'll get a chance to do that again against another former team.
Can't believe that
in the
happened.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Can't believe that. What do we do in Colorado?
Game 7s should have turned out differently. Both of them should have turned out differently. But they didn't. Hockey, man. Sports.
Playoff hockey.
Oh boy, what an unbelievable finish both to the Dallas Colorado series and to the Winnipeg St. Louis series.
It's nuts.
Where Colorado was the better team until they weren't. And Colorado was the better team in the series until they weren't. They were the better team in Game 7 until it fell apart. And St. Louis was, I think, lost in all of it was a mistake, a tactical mistake that St. Louis was continuously making in the game last night. St. Louis was significantly better in the first period, led 2-0. Maybe you could argue could have been more, but they didn't do a good enough job with their chances. Where have we heard that before? And then Winnipeg dominated the second period, only got one goal out of it. And then Connor Hellebuck gave him another goal. We could sit here all day long and talk about Radek Faksa and the chance that he had. It was a great chance. But Connor Hellebuck could not have played that like less of a Vezina Trophy favorite. Deep in his net, small. Connor Hellebuck is a giant person.
Yes.
And there was tons of room to beat him on that shot. But honestly, after the first period, St. Louis just didn't attack the way they should have. Like, what are we doing? You ain't winning that game in 20 minutes.
No.
And they got to the end. It was still 3-1 when they pulled the goaltender with a little bit more than 3 minutes left. It's still 3-1. And then, we'll remember the time where Winnipeg scored the goal to make it 3-2 because Kenny Albert on the game last night pointed out that because the goal happened inside the last 2 minutes, they couldn't take their final commercial break because they had played long enough without a whistle. They were behind a television break.
Oof.
Since when can television not
I know.
When does television stop dictating?
You don't hear that often.
That is insane. That surprised me, but I remember him saying it. So it was, I think, a minute 56 left when Svechnikov got the first goal, which was fortunate because it really did hit off. I thought the glove, I think Kenny Albert, who, mediocre, said it was off the shaft of the stick. Looked to me like it hit Ryan Suter's glove and deflected down and then bounced in the side of the net. That made it 3-2. And all of a sudden now all bets are off. See, that's the thing, man. If you get an extra attacker goal and you make it a 1-shot game, oh boy. Now there's jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
And St. Louis panicked several times, including their captain, Braden Shen, trying to play a puck in the corner behind the net rather than just, let me see if I can't trap it against the wall for 25 seconds. He tried to play it, and they lost possession of the puck. There's plenty of time. But honestly, at this point, you are trying to waste as much time as possible. And that goal happened with, I think they might have put more time left in the clock, back in the clock. Didn't really matter. I think it might have been more than 2 seconds. But the TV showed like 1.6 seconds.
It was 1.6.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's what was so funny to me. And this is when you boil it all down, it was a total broken play. Now, brilliant decision-making on the part of Winnipeg in that final play. But it took Nick Ehlers, who is a really good player and a smart player, it took him, let's just see how many mistakes he made in that final sequence. Couldn't keep a puck in, had to go back out into the neutral zone. Everybody had to reload. Then a pass came back to him, and he whiffed on a shot. It was supposed to be a shot with like 5 seconds left or whatever it was. He whiffed on it. The puck, just sort of the momentum of his swing, of his attempted shot, just kind of carried the puck forward slowly. It gets pushed back out to him, right? And at that point, like, forget about shooting. He passes it across, a diagonal pass across, then a shot pass. Shot passes, man, are lethal for goaltenders because if you sell the shot, they are now out of position. And the shot pass went into the dead slot, and there's Cole Perfetti with the deflection, 1.6 seconds left. But that play could have, if Nick Ehlers' initial shot is, if he makes contact with it, that stuff doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, better to be lucky than good. But it helps to be both. Winnipeg is legitimately good.
Puck luck helps.
Yeah, they were the President's Trophy winner for a reason. Mm-hmm. Right? They were the best team in the NHL all year. They had the best goalie. Hellebuck is not only going to win the Vezina, he's not going to win the Hart, but he's a finalist for the Hart.
Well, he has studied goaltending more than anybody in the world.
Did he say that after the game, or he said that before?
No, he said this a long time ago.
He was no good. He was good in the overtime. He actually made some pretty good saves in the overtime. But the first goal was not on him. The second goal and the third goal were absolutely on him. But Winnipeg overcame it. Again, St. Louis, feel free to shoot the puck.
Mm-hmm.
They spent the lion's share of the next, after the first period, they spent most of the next roughly 80 minutes avoiding shooting the puck.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
What a crazy goalie rematch from Four Nations, too.
Oh, yeah, correct. It was.
It's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But it happened the other way.
Look, Hellebuck got the better of him. He didn't get the better of him. The Winnipeg Jets beat St. Louis, but St. Louis also kind of gave it away. And then in the overtime, they really weren't. They were the same. Like, why shoot it from here when I could pass it and the other guy can't shoot it? Like, I don't understand passing up good shots to get lesser shots.
Yeah.
You've got an opportunity, especially when you've known that Hellebuck. Now, by the time we got to overtime, Connor Hellebuck was a different goalie. He was a better goalie. He wasn't the same that he was during the regular season, but he was a better goalie. But for the better part of 2 periods, St. Louis refused to put pressure on a goalie who was clearly overthinking the game. Whatever. It's I say that as, yes, I did have St. Louis at plus 185.
Yeah. No.
Yes, I did.
I was hoping the Jets would pull through. I may or may not have a bet slip.
There you go. Good. Good. I want people to win. I don't. It doesn't make or break my day. All right, we got a lot of things to discuss. We'll talk about Mikko Rantanen and Hurricanes fans. Man, I know y'all hate him, but there is a reason why the Hurricanes gave away what they did to get him. They just didn't get him. Dallas got him finally after basically sleepwalking through a good chunk of the regular season and then in the playoffs.
Well, and he actually shows that he cares when he plays for Dallas.
Showed. He did.
Even Avs fans were like, where did we see? We didn't see this towards the end.
Finally, he was dialed in, and he was awesome. All right, let's go. All right. So let's start with the news from yesterday, which was 2 days ago, Saturday. I was a little surprised. Frederik Andersen signs a 1-year contract extension to stay with the Hurricanes. So I know what Canes fans desire. They desire a goaltender that isn't named Frederik Andersen because Freddie can be unreliable physically. Here's the thing about Andersen. When healthy, he is a top 10 NHL goaltender. When healthy. You just got to get him healthy. And whether it's the knee injury this year, the blood clot, which is obviously a very serious issue last year, or a knee injury each of the last 2 years, the 2 years previous, you just don't get a lot of Freddie Andersen in the lineup all the time. The only time he's played more than 40 games or started more than 40 games for Carolina was in year 1, where he started more than 50, and he and Antti Ranta ended up winning the Jennings Trophy as the best goaltending tandem in the NHL. So when Andersen is healthy, it's legitimately good. No issues. And when he has played in the playoffs, he has been legitimately good. And I think if we're being honest, last year, you could look at his numbers in the playoffs last year, and you could say, if you weren't paying attention, oh, well, Freddie wasn't that good. Look at his save percentage is under 90%. It was .899. Like, yeah, and that was when he ran out of gas at the end, and the numbers kind of skyrocketed. But the truth of the matter is that he was excellent against the Islanders, and but by the time he got to the Rangers, he was done, unfortunately. And he still played relatively well, but he had a couple of bad games. And, whether it's Rod overused him in the beginning of that series or not, probably. I think Rod sort of knows. And a lot of that was on Pyotr Kochetkov for not being better. Because if he's better, then he gives Rod a real option. Okay, I can use this guy and win this game, and then I go right back to Freddie. And we're in the same position now, by the way, because Kochetkov hasn't been good enough for Rod to say, we can win that. I'll play Pyotr. We'll go win that game. Then I'll go right back to Freddie and let Freddie go on another run of three games in a row. That's the way this was supposed to work. Whether it was Freddie or Pyotr, Rod was going to choose one, but he wanted to use both. And Kochetkov didn't give him enough belief to use him. So Kochetkov is if Freddie goes down, we have to go to Kochetkov. That's not the way this was supposed to be. Anyway, here's the other element of the Anderson story, and then we'll hear from Freddie. There are no free agent goaltenders worth investing in. If we got to the end of the season, or we got into July, and the Hurricanes are looking for a goalie in free agency, you know the best, by a mile, the best goalie in free agency is? Anderson.
Yep. And we got him.
So we headed him off at the pass. So there you go. All right, now here's Freddie on the decision to stay.
Yeah, again, I think, I really just love it here. I think the years I've been here, we've had really competitive teams, and the area is awesome. I love living here, and everyone in the organization does a tremendous job. So just very happy to be able to stay here and stay in another year on a team that's got very high expectations and shooting for the best. So I think that was why I'm just happy to get it done, and it provides both the team with a little bit of clarity going forward for the position next year, and obviously give me a little bit of security. So just thrilled about that.
I would be thrilled about it too if I were Freddie, if I were the Hurricanes. Again, when healthy, you get a top 10 goalie in the league, and you're paying him less than $3 million a year. The cap hit, it could grow higher if he plays more than 35 games. I don't know what the odds are that Freddie Anderson's going to play more than 35 games. Maybe. So if he does play more than 35 games, then it's an additional $250,000. So your cap hit is $3 million. I think you can absorb that. Here's Anderson on being part of a tandem.
Yeah, again, I think just continuing. Obviously, I still feel like I have a good level of play in me. Obviously, the last couple of years I've had some bumps in the road in terms of staying healthy, but just continuing controlling what I can do to be in the net as much as possible, and have that feeling of confidence that I can still help the team, both when I'm playing and obviously help Piotr in ways, and continuing his development and taking over as a great young goalie in this league. So that's what excites me about having this done and being able to be around next year too.
I'm not sure anything, it seems, excites Freddie, but he used the word I didn't.
Right. Even when he got recognized to this little trophy on the ice, you're like, are you excited?
Yeah,
a smile, maybe? Anything?
No trophy. No, not excited. Freddie doesn't excite easily. All right. Speaking of exciting, we have the series. We know the all the dates. It is tomorrow. We start in Washington. Thursday in Washington. Saturday in Raleigh. 6 o'clock start Saturday. Tomorrow and Thursday are 7 o'clock games. Saturday is at 6. Monday, game 4 is at 7. We don't know the times for game 5, 6, and 7. Thursday, Saturday, Monday. So there are 2 games off in between games 4 and 5. As we get closer toward the end of series, we get toward the business end of these series. The NHL has purposely spread it out just a little bit. So, should be. Look, I think this is going to be awesome. Why the NHL has done that, I'm not sure, but these series are going to be great. Carolina is a pretty sizable favorite over Washington in the betting market. It's not that big a difference between these two teams.
No.
And it's hard for me to have watched Washington all year and to have watched Carolina all year and to think that, man, we're making the Hurricanes the favorite? That's wild to me. Mm-hmm. Like, Florida, to me, is by a mile the biggest favorite of any of the 4 series. Now, Florida is in the betting market the favorite. They are, I think, minus 180. Carolina's minus 170. Dallas is minus. They're minus money against Winnipeg, even without home ice advantage. That is interesting, isn't it? That the 3 of the 4 series, the team that will start on the road is the betting favorite.
Right.
And in the other one, it's dead even. Edmonton and Vegas are both minus 110. That is stunning. Anyway, maybe home ice advantage doesn't matter as much as we think. I've been saying this for a while. In the first round, you want it. After that, it's just not that much of a concern. But it's harder to win when you start on the road. Now, can Carolina take a game in D.C.? I mean, you don't have to. They didn't in 2019. And we're going to spend some time today talking about how this whole thing began. Because this whole culture thing, this whole Hurricanes year in, year out make the playoffs thing, 7 straight years in the playoffs, 7 straight years winning at least one postseason series, 5 straight years making it to the second round of the playoffs. All that began in 2019. When Brock McGinn scored in double overtime on a pass from Justin Williams, not Justin Wilson, Justin Williams.
You've got Tom Wilson.
Guarantee. No, you remember the Cajun cooker?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I used to watch that guy all the time.
Yeah.
He was always making a salad and
so
drinking
good.
red wine.
Half the time I'm like, what are you making? It looks delicious.
It doesn't matter. He's just drinking wine with his suspenders on. Anyway, Justin Williams passing across Brock McGinn, deflected pass, Braden Holtby, and Carolina's in the second round. That was the series. In some ways, I wanted to joke with Andre when I was down at practice on Saturday. I wanted to go, what do you remember from the opening series? But, yeah, it wasn't. I didn't feel like joking about it with Andre.
It's a joke you had in your head.
Yeah, it's great. It worked really well in here, but I don't know that the translation of it would have been as good. But it is the series that began it all. I talked about it with Jordan Stahl, and to me, I was happy that he remembered certain elements of it in detail. He remembered his goal that tied the game in detail. And that's all coming up on the pregame show tomorrow, by the way, as we tease ahead. For those listening locally, for the 7 o'clock game, we're on the air at 6 o'clock with the pregame show. Right, there you go. An hour-long pregame show. You're welcome. By the way, no changes based on practice lines today. The only potential change that I can see comes from the fact that Jack Roslovic was working in with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Taylor Hall, and Logan Stankoven. And I know he and Mark Jankowski had been flipping at times back and forth. Roslovic played the first 3 games of the series, Jankowski the last 2. And I believe Rod is going to stick with Jankowski in as a fourth-line center. Tyson Jost is working in there as an extra player. I guess if you're Rod and you really want to get Jack Roslovic into the lineup, and I'm not sure why you would, to me, the player on that line that is in the most jeopardy is Jesperi Kotkaniemi. And so maybe it will be good for him to feel a little heat because Kotkaniemi does enough good things during the course of a game to make people go, he's played well. He's done good things. He doesn't always play well, even while he does good things. So he's got to be more consistent. We can't have swings within the game where Jesperi's doing, like, why are you doing that? And then he does something really well, and you go, there you go.
Yeah.
More of that.
Keep doing that.
So I think that Roslovic working in with that second line says more about maybe potentially that. Now, if you're asking me, no chance I put Roslovic in the game over Kotkaniemi unless Kotkaniemi demands that, like his play demands that he comes out of the lineup. And maybe you could say that about Stankoven, but I wouldn't take him out. I think Stankoven plays exactly the way you want this team to play. I wouldn't put Roslovic on the ice over him. Taylor Hall has been kind of dealing with, I think, some injury issues, but he's playing, and I don't anticipate taking him out of the lineup. We went a little bit crazy here. Real quick, the 4 series, Florida-Toronto starts tonight. It's the only game tonight. The Panthers look fully operational to me, and they will be a difficult team for anybody to beat. And they are now the betting favorites, by the way. The odds have been adjusted. Carolina is the 4th choice on the board. The 4 teams that they believe will win, because I think the betting markets think Edmonton is going to win, even though that series is minus 110 each. But Florida's the top choice. Dallas is after that, then Edmonton, and then Carolina. I think Vegas might be right with Carolina, but I think those are the top 4. Dallas, Winnipeg, Vegas, Edmonton. Vegas and Edmonton will follow Carolina each night over the first 4 games of the playoffs. So if you're into the hockey doubleheader, Canes, and then it'll be Vegas, Edmonton right after that. Oh, Mike Sullivan is the new head coach of the New York Rangers. So Rangers will be dramatically better, but I'm not blaming Peter Laviolette for the Rangers missing out on the playoffs. I don't think it's a Laviolette problem. Mike Sullivan, though, is probably the best coach in the NHL. And I love Rod, you know that. I think Sullivan is the best coach in the league. So I would assume the Rangers will be significantly better next year. Sarah Civian might have something to say about that. She will tell us who's cooked. Gosh, Civ is great. Sarah Civian, next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
May is Motorcycle Awareness Month, which goes for both riders and people in vehicles. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and as someone who has ridden before and is currently getting back on the hog, there's definitely things to keep in mind so everyone can stay safe on the road. If you're a rider, something simple like always riding defensively. Do not assume a driver can see you. Now, if you're in a vehicle, please make sure to check your surroundings and never pull out in front of a motorcycle. Now, God forbid anything bad ever happens, but if it does, call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, and they know the value of your bike and your gear and what the investment means to you. Case evaluations are always free, and you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. So this May, let's enjoy the beautiful weather by putting the rubber to the road and staying safe. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lago, Mentos, and Ippolita, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the Coast.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I am in studio with Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina and a special guest, because we're going to talk about customer service. Lori?
Well, I've been recording these commercials for a long time with you guys, and let me tell you, when the time came that we wanted Easy Breeze for our house, it was a no-brainer. Call you guys. Ryan came out, and let me tell you, from the very beginning until the end of the project, we were so impressed with the communication, with the quality of the work, with the price, everything. Never in my life have I worked with a company with that kind of communication that you guys have.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, all our projects, we assign a project manager. Our office staff keeps you up to date.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the material, they always like to let you know kind of when things are coming in, when we're scheduling, doing the little things to keep you informed that I think a lot of those other companies may miss.
It was phenomenal.
I can't say anything more than that. 800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
This is Adam Gold.
I told Tim, who does the afternoon show, I said, I'm about to turn this game around. We need Cheez-Its. So I went to go get magical Lucky Cheez-Its, and guess what? Boom. Period 2, tied it up. And then at the end of the game, I still had like 8 Cheez-Its in the cup left, and I said, Lucky Cheez-Its.
There you go.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. One of the top 10 hockey podcasts on Substack is the Civ Report. I told you. And the others are all cooked. Who got cooked? Let's see. St. Louis got cooked with 2 minutes left in the game. Colorado got cooked by Mikko Rantanen. And Sarah Civian is joining us on the Adam Gold Show. Download the Civ Report. Be a subscriber right now. How are you?
Oh, I'm excellent. Thanks for the intro. I don't know what analytics they're doing on those, but you know what? I will take it.
Cool. It's cool analytics, whatever those are. However we get to that point, we get to it. Before we get to the Hurricanes and the Capitals, how do you explain St. Louis giving that series away? Actually, it reminded me a little of Game 1, which I kind of felt like they gifted back to Winnipeg. I thought St. Louis, I thought they took their foot off the gas first after the first period. But, man, when you got a lead with 2 minutes to go, 2-goal lead with 2 minutes to go, you probably should win that.
It was always going to be Jim Montgomery versus Connor Hellebuck in the Who's to Blame Olympics. And I think, oh, God, Montgomery struggled in the past, like how to coach defending in like an empty net situation when the other team has a 6-on-5, and just like you pull the goalie early, that's good. You kind of have that belief. I think it's a culmination of this team winning so many games over the regular season that, okay, we know we're not out of it. It's the danger of getting to a Game 7 in a clean slate like that at all, and it's kind of, I feel like after the first period, the Jets became the team that we all knew that they could be, and they just kind of kept going. And that comeback, like, it wasn't on the score sheet, but it started in the second period when they just had more time in their offensive zone. So kind of a culmination of all that.
Oh, there's no doubt it started in the second period. And then Hellebuck erased the second period by being way too deep in his net. I mean, there was nothing that Radek Faksa was going to do beyond shoot that puck, and he just played it. Like, I felt like I was, no offense to Pyotr Kochetkov if he's listening on the way to the airport, I felt like I was watching Pyotr at that point. I'm like, just come out and attack the shot. And you're so good, you're so big. He made himself so small. You brought up Sarah Civian. you brought up, it just triggered the memory when Boston had that record season of 136 points.
Yeah.
They have a 3-1 series lead. Florida scores the extra attacker goal to force overtime, and they end up losing that series in 7. The people in Boston going, yep, we've seen that before.
Yeah, and now they're looking at the draft lottery, so it's really like they cannot be ones to talk right now. But at the same time, yeah, there is a little Jim Montgomery chatter over here. And then Claude Julien was on the bench, too. It's like the ghost of Bruins past. But at the end of the day, that's a team that got hot that was not as good as the Jets. And the Jets, it's just frustrating because I didn't want them to win that way. Like, you want Connor Hellebuyck to be the Hart Trophy finalist that he is. And that's just not how it panned out. So you just have no idea what's going to go on in round 2.
All right, real quick to Dallas, Colorado before we talk about the Canes and the Caps. Because you were there when it all began, too, and it is all beginning. We're kind of coming full circle. The Mikko Rantanen was pretty sleepy in that series until the second period of game 6 in Colorado, and he came alive. Now, they didn't win that game, but he nearly won it for them with 4 points in the second period. Now he decides, you know what? Maybe I'll do my 4-point period in the third period. It was just an insane take over the game from a winger.
Yeah, that's what you get when it's kind of like you don't get these players to be good in the regular season. You get him because he is what he is advertised as, a really, really good playoff performer, and people were right to criticize him for not being that guy in the first few games, and then people can tip their hats at the end. Like, it doesn't have to be either or. The pressure was on because he costs that much money, and he's expected to do that, and he gets to pick his poison about where he ends up, and I guess that was kind of I'll show you to all of us, and you just got to tip your hat or throw your hat to that, and now they're going to get Robertson and Heiskanen back this round because he did exactly what he had to do as kind of not the depth scoring, but as this team needed one more killer instinct guy, and the Avalanche could have really used a killer instinct.
Yeah, look, Nathan McKinnon did everything he possibly could. I don't think it was a great postseason series from Cale Makar, which was a little bit of a surprise. I expected a lot more out of him, and whether it's production or play, I expected more. I thought we got pretty good. Martin Necas. I know a lot of my timeline, Sarah, was filled up with didn't have Jack Drury taking the costly penalty that led to the power play goal. I thought that was. Did you think that was a penalty that had to be called?
Yes, I am pretty generous with my penalty giving out when it comes to the postseason, but that was brutal. You can't do that. You can't have that happen in that situation.
Yeah, well,
I feel bad. I love the kid, and he's trying hard, but maybe not ready for that bright light moment quite yet.
That was a big spot, yeah, right off the face-off, and was it Sagan he dragged down, or it was, that was it was too bad. But he goes to the box, and it didn't take Dallas very long at all. But that is when they acquired Rantanen, Dallas became the betting favorites to win the Stanley Cup. And that triggered a Jason Robertson surge. And when you get Heiskanen back and you get Robertson, and they haven't said whether or not they're going to be back for game 1, but they expect them back at some point during this series. When they get fully operational, when they don't have to have Cody Ceci playing big minutes, because he's been playing big minutes, they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, 100%. And I was a little down on them. I had the Avs winning the series, and I don't enjoy watching the Stars sometimes because they don't have that killer. I didn't think they had that killer instinct. They proved me wrong in Game 7, and that kind of changes the momentum for them, regardless of if Robertson and Heiskanen come back, and they are. So that's the team to watch now.
Oh, there is no question. Every team's got to get over the hump, and as we've transitioned to Washington, the year before in 2018. Washington knew that they were going to have to get over Sidney Crosby. They did, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. And now, 2019, all over again. although maybe in slightly different situations, because Washington is the underdog, the betting underdog in the series. And I hate that we put all these things in these terms now, but the Hurricanes are still favored to beat the Capitals. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I was reading an article about exactly this, and the Hurricanes are like analytics darlings, as we know, but because it's why the eye test matters, and I know you're going to love that, because it's about the amount of shots taken and the amount of shots suppressed, which is like the Hurricanes' simple bread and butter, right? And you saw that absolutely at exponential levels in the first round. And then what they can't figure out, it's so funny, like the type of player Ovechkin is, I guess he's so rare that like a lot of these models, like their brains get broken when it comes to Ovechkin, because, I mean, he's a big hitter, but he shoots not necessarily a high volume, but in also basically the same exact spot, and it works. Like, I think the Capitals, the reason why this core in the past few years, like the shooting percentage when it's high, this is the best team ever, because they take their shot selection seriously. They don't always take a million shots, but they take really good ones, and then when those get in, they get kind of hot. And it's like that one year, Spencer Carberry's first year, where they had a negative goal differential and they squeaked into the playoffs, and they didn't play well. It was because they're true to themselves in the way the Canes are true to themselves. The Canes are going to be shot heavy, and they're going to suppress your shots. The Capitals really take good shots, and when they're going in, they're one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, they have scored a ton of goals this year, and I know it's easy to say, well, Alex Ovechkin had this great year, because he did have a great goal-scoring year, but I think he could have had those goals, and Washington could have been a wild card team. I think the reason Washington is good is because guys like Dylan Strome had career years. Alexei Prodash had 30-plus goals, and almost all of them, if not all of them, were at 5-on-5. They got Pierre-Luc Dubois had a resurgent year. To me, that's the reason why Washington is good.
Yeah, and listen, we're saying depth, and you haven't even mentioned Connor McMichael, who has scored some of the biggest round one goals. He was one to watch for me, just seeing like how, I don't know, Tom Wilson and the big dog, they're also a big aggressive team, you know what I mean? And like they can grind down, and then you get the skill from an emerging Connor McMichael, and it's like they're coming at you line after line. Yeah, Dylan Strome had a career year, and just kind of watching him be, I mean, obviously, like we're trading first-line center for first-line center. It's kind of like an Aho situation where you have all that. You can contain somebody on a two-way game, and you have a lot of good offense. So there's a lot of scary stuff going on there.
Yeah, I know how fans are. Everybody's terrified that Washington's going to come in, or we're going to go there, and Washington's going to try and physically break Carolina. How do you see this series playing out?
God, it's really one that I have my popcorn out for, because I know I was there during 2019. And I saw, and there's still so many of the reoccurring players. I think Tom Wilson's got more mature, which is horrible for the Canes. He said after one of the games, I should just shut up sometimes, and I thought that was hilarious. And then he came out in the next game with like a big clean hit and a goal to dagger. So I think it's so hard to tell with this, because it's kind of, they both had the most predictable first-round exit opponents, right? Like you expected both of these teams to win, and now here they are trying to both prove in their own ways that they're actually good and actually deserving of Eastern Conference final glory. So it should be one of the best games, or one of the best series of the second round. But I'm expecting Svechnikov looks like he's fully healed from his ACL, right? And I think that's been the hold back for a while, for longer than people probably knew, until he's suddenly fine. So I'm expecting him. I hope he doesn't get caught up in the drama. I hope everybody sticks to their game, and I know Tom Wilson's going to bring the big guns out. So. Yeah,
look, it should be fun. Andre, all year long, I can't tell you, Sarah, you know I talk to Rod before every game, and in probably half of our conversations, Andrei Svechnikov has come up in either got to get him going, or maybe that's what gets him going, because it's after a good game, and he's had very few runs where he's played well for more than really 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he played as the Devils series wore on, and again, it hasn't been a long run. That series only went 5 games. But that Andre, you saw it. That Andre can be a game changer, and it gives Carolina the bona fide power forward that they traded for in that Mikko Rantanen guy.
Yeah, I'll always believe in that kid. I just think he is just a special person and a special player when he turns it on. But I do think he needs a little bit of, belief from the people around him. And I think it's been a few tough years with injuries and things like that, but maybe that belief that he got, he's one of those guys that, it really is about things like that. So I think maybe that carries over into the second round.
Well, Andre has always had the head coach has always been behind him. He loves the Andre work ethic. He's never going to worry whether or not Andre is ready to go. He's always physically ready to go. It's just, does he have his confidence with him? But the confidence will always come from the head coach. And Andre, plus the way Aho is playing right now, and you got Jarvis and Blake, they've got a chance. But it really is contrast, right? Washington's going to try and pound Carolina through the wall, and the Hurricanes, not that they won't be physical, because you have to, but they're going to try and skate past them. If they can do that, then I look forward to seeing the Now, you picked Toronto initially. I did. Do you like Toronto still, or is it going to be Florida?
I think it's more the Panthers' fault than the Leafs' fault, but I really, after watching that first-round series, I think I have to switch it to Panthers just because that last game should terrify anyone because it's they beat the Lightning at their own game. The Lightning really thrive in those kind of high-scoring free-for-alls, and they just ended up demolishing them. And then it was pretty easy, too. They were just unfazed. They just come at you. Tkachuk comes back, and game 1 he has 2 goals. Everybody's a different hero every night. I think that's kind of the biggest thing, the depth. And John Cooper's statement that it was our time, now it's theirs. When he says something like that, I'm a little scared. The bells are ringing.
Yeah, when Cooper said they're not just good, they are exceptional. We forgot, based on the last month of the season when Tkachuk was healing up from 4 Nations and Paul Maurice wasn't even thinking about playing him. We forgot just how good they were. And I picked Tampa to win that series, and then I saw the games being played. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, Florida's much better than Tampa.
Okay. To be fair, look at the injury list from Tampa. You had Hedman on a broken foot.
Yeah.
You got Kucherov with issues. It's everybody who needs to be a big player had some type of issue. So I'll give them that.
All right. Well, you can. Florida's so good. Sarah Civian, the Civ Report on Substack, a top 10. Next time, it'll be top 5.
Oh, let's hope. Let's all subscribe, people.
All right. Sarah, take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much. See you later.
All right. Sarah Civian here on the Adam Gold Show. We're going to do one-timers when we come back. You can always contribute to the show. YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. It doesn't matter. You show up at the same place. And we are here to answer your questions Q&A style. This is sort of Lucy at the desk. 5 cents.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Even though Lucy could be mean.
Can be.
Yeah. Wow.
Was mean. All of that next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The NBA Conference semifinals are here, and even though we are without a king, no more monarchy in the NBA playoffs, we are still ready for you. And FanDuel, for new customers, $200 in bonus bets await when you place your first $5 wager. You don't even have to win it. How good is that? FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. The NBA Conference semifinals in full swing. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no party like an all-star party. The NASCAR All-Star Race roars into North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's back May 16 through 18 for a no-holds-barred, old-fashioned mountain showdown. NASCAR's biggest stars going for all the money and bragging rights under the lights at one of racing's most iconic tracks. Metal will bend, dreams will end, and the fun? Well, that doesn't stop all weekend. Kick your May into high gear. Get your tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
Imagine a school where you can study AI and ancient Egypt, become a National Honor Student, join a cooking club, or code the next big video game, and do it all in a comfortable space. Your own home. Welcome to NC Cyber Academy, a K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school that provides you with a flexible, personalized education designed to prepare you for college and a career. Visit myncca.com and discover a learning experience that works for you, your family, and your future.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment. They fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the overdose battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
This is Adam Gold.
But whenever you say, well, we're not using this as an excuse, no, you are. Whether it's justifiable or not can be a different discussion, but you are.
It's like the equivalent of saying no offense, but ...
Offense coming.
Yeah, get ready for it.
Look out. Here we come with some offense for you.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria is producing the program.
Yes, this was a request that someone made, a friend on Twitter. Don't ask me to say what it's called.
All right, then.
Because it's Cinco de Mayo today.
It is. Congratulations. You've made it past May the 4th be with you.
Exactly. So that's where the bumps are being inspired today.
Yes. Dan Wetzel will join us next hour. ESPN.com columnist. We will talk about Bill Belichick. The headline of his most recent piece is, "Let's all settle down about Bill Belichick's girlfriend." Dan is great. All right, we'll talk about Jordan Hudson or not with Dan Wetzel coming up next hour. It's One-Timers.
Okay, so like you mentioned, you can do it on YouTube or at me on Twitter, but these however, have come from YouTube. So first up from WM, how do you think Rod utilizes Jankowski and Roslovic in this series? Would you ride Janko all the way or maybe just on the road?
Well, I said before the playoffs started a couple of things. One, I thought on the road I'd much rather have Jankowski than Roslovic. Part of it, and it sort of explains how Carolina lost Game 3 in New Jersey. Roslovic was on the ice for the Simon Nemec goal, and he was defensively not interested. Now, Shane Gostisbehere played it poorly too, but he played it poorly because he really expected help. Now, he was way too late to react. You should have stopped. You got to stop the guy with the puck first. And Gostisbehere was caught in between and didn't do anything. But Roslovic just let Simon Nemec just skate up the middle of the ice. On the road, I don't have to worry about defense when I've got Jankowski out there, who's a much more defensively responsible player, which isn't that hard. So I'd definitely play Jankowski on the road. I'd consider going back to Roslovic on home ice, but I don't think that Jankowski doesn't give him offense too. So I just keep playing Janko.
Okay. Next up from William, with Freddie signing a new deal, do we look to moving Kochetkov, and will there be a trade in the offseason to upgrade a goalie?
I don't think that this precludes any move, but I think it is a very good move for Carolina because Freddie, when healthy, is an excellent goaltender. But yeah, they need goaltending depth. If it's not Kochetkov, it's going to have to be somebody else. They need another NHL goalie. Not Spencer Martin. No offense to Spencer Martin. They need another NHL goalie.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller. Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. He is the man who invented the no closing cost mortgage back in 1987. Brought it to the Triangle in 96. He's been on Kildare Farm Road in Cary ever since. And we were at a ball game the other day, and, you know, as guys will, talk turned to mortgages and rates. And the fact that the rates are right now sitting steady, probably a little bit higher than they need to be. And Gordon just kind of casually said to me, well, there's no question that the rates are going to drop because they have to. Look, if you want to trigger a buying market in the home industry, then you're going to have to lower rates. They will come down. If you paid closing costs, you are banking that the rates will stay exactly where they are for about 8 years. That ain't going to happen, people. We're going to save you thousands. Don't ever pay closing costs. The rates will drop, then you can refinance free of charge. Miller Lending. Play the game the right way. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 2502146.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Learn more at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Brunson holding. Nick's trying to wait till the end. Brunson puts up a three. Bang! Bang! Jalen Brunson hits the three with 4.3 remaining. And the Pistons call timeout.
Playing these guys, they were just as physical. They brought the fight to us, and then we had to respond, and then we did. Every series is going to be different. You got to respect each opponent you play, and then you got to go from there and make adjustments.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. Dan Wetzel. Formerly Yahoo Sports. Now ESPN.com is going to join us in a little bit. I think we'll have time for a mailbag after that.
Whoa.
Victoria.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I like when we do the mailbag.
Yeah, we'll do a mailbag.
Which can be about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be about what flavor your margarita is going to be today.
Oh, it's right. Well, what flavor would your margarita be?
Aside from just regular?
Yeah. What's wrong
strawberry.
with the regular? Regular? What's wrong with the regular?
We've already had a few margaritas today. We do need a margarita Monday. No, I like the regular, but I have had a really good strawberry margarita before. And once you try flavors, it's hard to. It's hard not to want.
I think the current lime.
Yes.
That is the best flavor of margarita.
It is delicious, especially if it's not if it's homemade too, because some of the premixes can be a little tart.
Yes, true. I have a quick margarita story.
Oh, yes.
So it is Cinco de Mayo. So before we get into anything here, and Dan Wetzel will join us in about 15 minutes. So I was out visiting friends in Denver, Colorado. This is a long time ago. This goes back 25 years. Okay, right around the turn of the century. And I was at a place called the Rio Grande Cafe down right on Blake Street in downtown Denver. This bar was in a giant brick building, really high ceilings, phenomenal place. Again, really right in the main entertainment area of downtown Denver. And there are signs on the wall, like almost looks like no parking signs, but the signs say 3 margarita limit.
Okay.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
3 margarita limit. Now, the margaritas come in these giant champagne glasses, not the flutes, but the
Yep.
And they are gold.
Ooh.
They're not frozen.
Oh,
I prefer, by the way, I prefer my
I like
margarita.
it on the rocks.
I prefer my margarita not frozen.
Yeah, I don't need a brain freeze.
Exactly. This does not have to be a Slurpee.
No.
So, but they are, clear gold margaritas.
Ooh.
They were amazing.
Ooh.
Anyway, so we're there. It's like, I think I got there in the afternoon. It's probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I've had 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I am fine. I swear to you. I'm
That's what
fine.
they all say.
Right.
No,
No, I was I really was. I was fine. So I ordered another one. We'd been there a while. It wasn't like we were pounding margaritas.
Sure, yeah.
So that fourth, it's like they know that you've already had 3. We're going to prove to you that sign mattered.
Right? Don't touch the hot stove.
Done. We're done. We're done.
Over.
Yeah.
Tap out.
It was no good. It was no good.
Gold's on the floor. I don't know what's happening. He had the 4th.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember anything that happened the rest of the day.
They should have like a hat or something that they put on people when they've had their 4th. Because if they're like sleeping in the corner, and you could be like, oh, they
Idiot
had the 4th.
had 4. That's what it should say on the hat. Idiot. Or just put dunce. Read the sign.
I had 4.
Read the sign, moron. Anyway, yeah, I recommend the margaritas at Rio Grande Cafe if it still exists. It was legitimately 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Phenomenal place. And Denver's a very cool city.
I've heard a very nice place to visit.
I enjoyed. I've had several trips to Denver. That was the best one.
Oh.
But they're all good.
Well, the margs didn't hurt.
No, they never do.
They don't.
They never do. And I found that because there is a very big Hispanic population, very Mexican population in Denver. The food was dynamite.
I bet.
Just different. Plus the air.
I love it.
The air is next level in Denver.
True.
Although it's not as good now as it was 25 years ago.
Also true.
A lot of people have moved out there. All right, let's go. Second look at the news of the day. Let's run through some things here. 1, Frederik Andersen signs his contract. 1-year extension to remain with the Carolina Hurricanes. And we are going to do a mailbag at the bottom of the hour at 1:30 today. So you have more questions, by all means, hit them up. You can go on to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, either one. And you can get into the chat, put the questions there, or you can hit us up on Twitter, whether it's me at @AGoldFan or at V_the _Ictor I don't know.
That's me.
Yeah, you'll find it.
That's me.
Just type in a bunch of underscores, you'll get it, and ask the question that way. Either way, we'll answer your questions coming up at the bottom of the hour. Anyway, so Frederik Andersen is back for another year. This will be his 5th year. We thought we couldn't quit Peter Mrazek.
Right.
Mrazek had the first 3 years, right? Andersen, this will be 5 in a row for Freddie.
It's crazy.
He's almost a Hurricanes legend at this point. Anyway, why, Freddie, did you want to run it back?
Yeah, I mean, I really just love it here. I think the years I've been here, we've had really competitive teams, and the area is awesome. I love living here, and everyone in the organization does a tremendous job. So just very happy to be able to stay here and stay in another year on a team that's got very high expectations and shooting for the best. So I think that was why I'm just happy to get it done, and it provides both the team with a little bit of clarity going forward for the position next year, and obviously give me a little bit of security. So just thrilled about that.
Hey, good deal for Carolina. The cap hit probably will end up coming in around $3 million on Andersen. Remember, I talked last week about the Hurricanes only have a handful of roster spots available and about $30 million to spend. I wasn't kidding. Andersen doesn't really eat into that because one of the spots that they had to fill was a goalie. And now, even if they were to trade for another NHL goalie, They're not trading for somebody making $8 million a year. They don't need that. They just need another viable NHL goaltender. So you're talking about maybe another $2 million. Holy cow. Carolina could be in really good shape and be able to do anything they wanted, whether it's in free agency or via the trade market. All right, so that's Freddie is back. We know the schedule for the second round series. Tuesday, 7 o'clock, game 1 in Washington. Thursday, 7 o'clock, game 2. Saturday, 6 o'clock, game 3. This is the first of potentially 3 games in Raleigh. Saturday, again, 6 o'clock Saturday evening. Monday, game 4, 7 o'clock. We don't know the times for the rest of the games if necessary, but game 5 would be back in Washington on Thursday. So that's where you've got 2 days off in between. We go from Monday to Thursday, extra day for travel and I guess laundry. Saturday, back here in Raleigh. Again, don't know the time. Also, don't know the television network for that one. That's the only one that I have seen. We're not sure. Okay.
They may not know either.
Yeah. Monday would be a potential Game 7 back in Washington. So 2 weeks from today, a potential Game 7 back in D.C. I think we're going to need it. This is a 7-game series.
Yeah.
7-game series with the exact same outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's good.
Get worn
That
down.
7-game series.
I know, but
That 7-game series ended well.
I'm exhausted for them.
By the way, doesn't matter how worn down Carolina is after this 7-game series. It doesn't. Florida's there. No bueno. I've been saying it all year. I know I moved off of them based on the last 6 weeks of the season. My mistake. The Florida Panthers team that I have watched in the playoffs, yep.
They're legit.
Oh, beyond legit. They're the best team.
Yeah.
They are the best team. And honestly, the best version of Dallas, that's the series. And I know people hate the fact that Mikko Rantanen turned it on. My timeline was filled with it. I know how you feel about it. I don't like Mikko Rantanen. I don't dislike Mikko Rantanen. That team, when he is going, that's what Carolina wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what Dallas needed too. Because Dallas has a ton of really good players, but nobody who could take a game over. Mikko took the game over.
Maybe he spent
twice.
it all in the last 2 periods
Twice.
of that game.
He was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This is, to me, it validates why Eric Tulsky made the deal. If anything, it just goes, okay, the GM knows what he's doing. Because the potential of Natchez, the solid nature of Jack Drury, all of that, yeah, it's worth all of that to get Mikko Rantanen. So, anyway, he was awesome. All right, real quick to the NBA playoffs. 4 series, they're all set. We actually had game 1 of one of them yesterday. The NBA got it. We should have had Carolina-Washington game 1 yesterday. There was no reason not to play this as the prelim for St. Louis at Winnipeg game 7. We could have played Carolina-Washington game 1 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and moved and been a little bit further on. But that's fine. The Cavaliers trail at home to Indiana, 1-0. That series is going to go deep, 6 or 7 game series. I don't know if the Pacers are going to win it, but let's not forget that Indiana was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Tyrese Halliburton is legit, and Tyrese Halliburton's dad apparently scares everybody to death. The other series, Knicks, Boston. It's only going to be a 5-game series if Boston lets it. And honestly, if the Knicks are going to win a game in that series, game 2. If they win a game, it'll be game 2. But the Knicks probably aren't going to win a game in that series. Boston is way better. The Knicks aren't in the same galaxy as the Boston Celtics. Denver and OKC is going to be amazing. By the way, Knicks-Boston game 1 tonight, followed by Denver-OKC game 1. I'd love to think that the Nuggets can hang with Oklahoma City, but it's got to be more than Nikola Jokic. It has to be. I'm not sure there is significantly more than Jokic on the Nuggets. Jamal Murray is all over the place. Aaron Gordon is really good, but he's really a complimentary piece. Oklahoma City has, Shea is unguardable, just like Jokic is, but I think OKC has a few more options than Denver does. Golden State, Minnesota. I believe we're going to have another Ant-Man win. I think Minnesota's going to beat the Warriors, and I think Minnesota is going to end up in the NBA Finals. Anthony Edwards keeps saying he doesn't want to be, it's Jokic is the face of the league, or Luke is the face of the league. I don't know. Anthony Edwards might end up being the best player in the league. He's that good. All right, we'll take a quick break. We will come back. Dan Wetzel. ESPN. I keep saying Yahoo Sports because I'm used to it. Dan Wetzel from ESPN on Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. Next.
From the heels.
Touchdown, Carolina.
To the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the postgame mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Carolina baseball hosts the NC State Wolfpack this weekend at Boshemer Stadium for a 3-game matchup. This series begins Thursday, May 8th at 6 p.m. The first 750 fans in attendance will get the last trading card pack of the 2025 Diamond Heels. The second game of the series is May 9th at 6 with fireworks and Michael Busch bobblehead night. The series finale and senior day is Sunday, May 11th at 1 p.m. Tickets for this rivalry series are going fast, so get your tickets today at GoHeels.com.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. The owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander for FanDuel. The semifinals are here, folks, and that means all the show-stopping action is turning up a notch. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel is the best place to find all your favorite player props, and now you can make the smarter play with new performance trends. Want to see if a guy's hitting the over consistently? Maybe they've been flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the app and see who's heating up. And once the game starts, that's when things get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. And if you already don't have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is Adam Gold.
82nd mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's why.
The Adam Gold Show.
Dan Wetzel is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, and now ESPN, the worldwide leader. Dan Wetzel, who has long been maybe the best of our college football columnists, opinioners, and I'm glad you're with the worldwide leader, Dan. Thank you very much for the time. Things are basically the same, though, right?
Yeah, still the same. Pretty much the same. Still happy to come on your show. It's been a long time we've been coming on.
I appreciate you doing this. I also appreciated the headline of the latest piece you wrote. Let's all settle down about Bill Belichick's girlfriend. We're going to get to that. It has been a fascination here now for more than 3 weeks. They finally dragged me into it for the first week and a half. I said, why are we even discussing this? Because it was just then about the video of her at the spring practice, the final spring practice stuff, and I guess it was a wireless microphone battery pack in his pocket. Whatever, I really don't care. But I do want to ask you this because I have talked about it in this way. This has nothing to do with Jordan Hudson. I do believe that this will be the most followed, the most attention ever given to a college football program. And I include all college football programs in the history of college football. They're putting TCU and UNC on Labor Day night. No chance that matchup would ever draw Labor Day night attention, ever. They're sending it to Ireland next year. No chance this matchup would ever make it. UNC football has been, okay, whatever. But now, because Bill Belichick's there, it's the game in town.
Well, certainly for UNC. It reminds me a little of Dion going to Colorado.
Right.
All of a sudden, Colorado's 1-11 before. I mean, UNC at least is a good program, right? Like it's never rarely great, but
right.
They're good. Colorado's horrible. And they started this national team. I mean, Colorado State was like the primetime CBS game, like week 2. So I don't know about the most ever, but it's just the whole story was fascinating, whether Bill Belichick had a girlfriend or not.
Right.
And how is this going to work? Can he get an extra couple wins out of this? How will recruits view him? You know, he's an exceptional teacher of football. He's incredible at game management. You know, we're not going to have one of these I forgot to take a knee and run out the clock kind of losses. Like, God bless college football coaches, but, you know, but can he impart that? How does he teach? How does he teach, you know, younger players? Is there an advantage in the fact that he's used to half his roster being transient every year?
Right.
You know, he took a kid, Malcolm Butler, undrafted out of West Alabama as their last defensive back, and by the Super Bowl against Seattle, he's reading one of the biggest plays in the history of NFL and making this interception. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can he do that with these players? And so, I'm fascinated with what happens, and absolutely, it's you know, you're going to get game day and national games, and I'm sure full house. And I love, like, is it week 2? He's coaching at like UNC's at like the 20,000 seat Charlotte Stadium?
They play a game like that this year.
Yeah, at Charlotte, I think. It's like, Bill Belichick's going to be in a stadium that's like a Texas high school stadium. Like, what the heck? But it's going to be really, really interesting to see how he handles it. So,
Dan Wetzel, columnist, ESPN.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I do think, first of all, it's great that Mario Cristobal is catching strays in a conversation.
I didn't
fine.
say his name.
It's fine. We all know who it was. It's fine.
Could have been anybody.
Well, not always. I don't know. There aren't a lot of those out there. Mario, hey, look, Miami, I was talking to a good friend of mine, somebody you know well, Chip Patterson. We were talking about the rosters in the ACC that are good enough to compete nationally, maybe not win a title, but be in that mix. And after Clemson, the only one he could say from the ACC was Miami. Now, to that end, North Carolina's roster, he told me, probably isn't as good this year as it was last year, although they should be better at quarterback than they were a year ago. It's going to take all of his wizarding skills to put this team in a better position to win than last year's team.
Absolutely. It's not like Mac Brown was a bad coach. I mean, he's not taking over a 1-11 program. So what can he do at North Carolina? And it's hard to make that last jump, and it's really hard if you aren't at a certain type of school that has had that advantage, and talent wins out. So I'm not really expecting anything huge from Belichick. In 2-3 years, could they win the ACC? Could they be in the playoff? That type of stuff. I think those are reasonable goals. But I'm not. He's not. It's not that. As much as there's an occasional snafu of forgetting to take the knee, it's not like you can just come in. Belichick's old offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss, right? He took over at Notre Dame and declared that there would be schematic advantage,
yes.
Yeah, and there wasn't. Okay, or the schematic advantage is too complicated for the players to run.
Right.
There's some of that. I've seen NBA coaches come back to college basketball and go, "Why does no one run a 2-for-1 at the end of a half?" Well, it's because they just can't. Right. The players are just not capable of pulling it off.
You can do it. You just run two bad. You just run two bad plays.
Bad forced plays. Yeah. like Krzyzewski and Dean and they thought of it. They just couldn't get it done. So at some point, it's just the way it is. You don't have Chris Paul or Jason Kidd or whoever your point guard is running it. So we'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. But it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be a really interesting guy to have in the league. He's a big personality. I think Carolina fans will appreciate him. He can be really interesting with the media. I know the perception he's just gruff and mean, but it really depends on like his mood and what questions you ask and things like that. He also can be just absolutely fascinating. He'll give 5-minute answers on certain topics. And so I think this is going to be really interesting.
Dan Wetzel, ESPN, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I do think that I don't know what success is. I think there is probably no gray area here. I think this is probably going to be wildly successful, and that doesn't mean they're going to make the playoff in year one, but they're going to be really good, or they're going to be mediocre, and it will be viewed as a failure in the eyes of a lot of people, but it's going to be fun. I hope it lasts for more than a year. My suspicion is it will. I've been optimistic that this is not – everybody was afraid that, he's never going to coach a game. I think he's going to coach multiple years here. Because I think that there's going to be enough success to bring him back for another year. Let me get to, I guess, the real reason why I reached out in the first place was Jordan Hudson. What is your view of this mess? I'll just call it a mess. I don't know how messy it is. I know the university as a whole really isn't thrilled about what they're dealing with right now, but what's your view of the Jordan Hudson experience here?
Yeah, so like what I was writing was really a football part. Look, you have a relationship between two people that are 49-year age difference. It's interesting, intriguing, it's gonna create.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it just is. And there's going to be like these awkward things. You have a 24-year-old who's on social media, and you have a 73-year-old who used to call it face mask, and and now he's posing as a fisherman in a Halloween thing. Like, some of the stuff's just, it's going to be awkward, and it's either funny or it's cringe. Whatever Purple's reaction to all that is totally correct. If they think, boy, this is really somebody that age shouldn't date someone that age, fine. If they say, hey, who cares, fine. I don't really care. I'm not here to tell you. My thing last week was just, I mean, you're getting the school should fire him.
Yeah.
He's going to be distracted. He's got his girlfriend's around the program. Like, every coach's wife is around the program.
Yep.
I mean, Mac Brown would talk about his wife all the time.
Sally. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sally.
Miss
Sally,
Terry and Nick Saban.
Miss Terry's hosting recruits. Mickey Krzyzewski's like, this is the wives are part of the program.
Yeah.
So the idea that, oh my goodness, his significant other is on an email thread is not news. It would be if she is if we find out she is in the film room breaking down Clemson's, jet suite. Now I'd be like, okay, this other stuff is just way overblown for football. And my thing with Belichick is he's always coached in chaos. I think he thrives on it, and he invites it. And so when Patriots were charged with Spygate, right, filming, and this is a big scandal, they go win the Super Bowl. When Tom Brady is accused of deflating the footballs in the AFC Championship, they go win the Super Bowl. When Brady gets suspended, they go win the Super Bowl. Or they didn't win it with Spygate. They went 16-0, though.
Oh.
Okay. Aaron Hernandez is, one of his players is standing trial for murder. They go win the Super Bowl. He's feuded with everybody. There's always something going on with Belichick. It's loud. He's quiet, but it's loud. It's a lot of passive aggressive. It's whatever. Generally speaking, he wins. Now, did they win at the end without Brady? No, but he held it together for longer than anybody, multiple runs. I'm not worried about his ability to coach the team, teach the team, recruit, all of those things. I don't think this is elder abuse. I don't think this guy doesn't know what's going on. Like, it just got out of control. Like, come on. Bill Belichick.
I know.
He's going to be fine. That doesn't mean I think they're going 12-0, but I don't. If they were going 10-2, they're still going to go 10-2. If they were going to go 6-6, they're still going. This is just not it. It's just he is not going to be a factor in his ability to do the job. It's just he has a really understandably interesting personal relationship right now, but it's May.
My theory, Dan, is that people are so used to Bill, basically you couldn't tell Bill what to do. And now the appearance, especially because of that CBS Sunday morning news show, is that he is being, he's like the puppet, and she's the marionette. She's the puppet master. He's the marionette, and he's being manipulated by her. People can't process that. That's basically my theory on that. Is like she's directing everything that he does, and they can't deal with it.
That's not the Bill Belichick I've covered for 20 years. I just doubt. I mean, is she involved? Yeah. Where's the publicist for the book? They should have been there. I don't know. I just don't think this is that big of a thing. He would have his last girlfriend was around a lot. You'd see her at games and things.
Right.
Also, like, people didn't shoot video. If she's on the sideline at a game, they're not shooting video of her or a coach's wife, right?
Well,
so it's just I don't know, but my suspicion is this is not nearly it just got to be a runaway train. Like, it's different. It's absolutely different, but the Bill Belichick I know is an extremely, extremely serious guy. And the part, if I was a Carolina fan, that I would take heart to was how this offseason he immediately hit the road recruiting and went everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a lot of houses. He's not going to get all those guys, but he's refining that. He is out working. And so The fact he did a little publicity for this book and this video goes, I'm not going to give up a guy. The guy's done 30 years in public eye. There's a, 10-second clip of him, of his girlfriend saying, we're not talking about that. I'm not all of a sudden going to say he's lost it and this guy's getting, led around.
I don't know. I like the beach shots. I like the beach shots. I like the the Titanic pose where she's balancing on his foot.
I never thought I'd see it.
I like it.
Didn't really need it in my life.
Yeah. No. See, you didn't know you needed it, Dan. You actually did.
I didn't need it. No, I didn't. But it's okay. It's okay.
Hey, it's to find out.
I'm going to call the right defensive assignment when they're playing state. That's the part that's really going to determine this, and I don't think. I don't think that's gone.
To find out a 73-year-old man is into role playing, I think that is okay. I think it keeps you young, and that's fine. You got to relate. You got to relate to players who are in their late teens, early 20s anyway. Anything you do that keeps you young is fine. Dan Wetzel, I appreciate your time, my friend. Congratulations again on the new gig. We will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Adam. Take care, man.
I mean,
I really didn't need to hear Bill Belichick and role play in the same sentence.
He's dressing up like a fisherman. You don't think that's for giggles, right?
He doesn't fish.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And she's not really a mermaid.
No.
It's all pretend.
I know.
It's all pretend. All right. Should we do a mailbag? Let's do it.
You've got mail.
Real quick before we start. So Coke brought back the names on the cans and the bottles again?
They did. I saw that.
Dude. They never have my name. Ever.
No?
Ever. I can't find Adam anywhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's weird because you can never find my name on anything. Christmas ornaments, like
Cups,
nothing.
you know, you go to a place where they have coffee mugs with your name on.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
I'm the first man. Doesn't matter. I really don't care. All right, let's get to some questions. Do you have anything you want to start with?
I do. I have a couple if you'd like.
That's fine.
Let's see. Where's the first one? I lost the first one, but I'll find you. The first one I can find, though, with the Canes special teams success in the first round, what do you think we can realistically expect against the Caps kill/power play?
I mean, you're not going to get the same. I mean, it's not going to be 30% like it was 6 out of 19, right? Is what it was against the Devils. Probably isn't going to maintain that level. Anything like we should accept anything around 20%. Yeah. Even if it's just a little bit below. What we can't have is 5%. No. You can't go 1 for 20 on a power play. So that's what I would expect on the power play. I would hope for on a power play. Expect, I ain't expecting anything. Real quick, from Rich on Twitter. Lemon lime Gatorade tequila ice electrolyte margarita. No
Love
hangover.
It. Love it.
I have no idea if that's good or not.
I don't know either, but I like the idea.
Yeah, the idea of it is better. No offense. Gatorade doesn't taste good.
No.
I mean, it's effective.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't taste that good.
Mm-mm.
No.
I do like the liquid IVs. Those are delicious.
All right, I got one from Brian here, and we have good ones. Grade each coach's preseason so far.
Ooh.
Hubert Davis, Will Wade, John Shire, Steve Forbes. Hubert Davis, grade B+. It becomes an A if you can somehow convince Drake Powell to come back to school. Will Wade. I mean, there's so many new players, I don't even know where to begin. But he also had to do that. A. Definite A. John Shire, incomplete. They really haven't done anything yet.
No.
I mean, I'm sure they'll do plenty, but they haven't done anything yet. So incomplete. Steve Forbes, I don't know. I don't know. What have they done? I legitimately do not know anything that Wake Forest done. I like Steve Forbes, so I'll be kind and give him a B-, but I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
Okay. Next up, would you swap Walker for Nikishin to give us a little more size for the next series?
We have Rod Brindamore's comments about why he doesn't want to play Alexander Nikishin. I can say these things and people think that I have lost my mind. Here's Rod on saying, yeah, he'd love to play Alexander Nikishin too, but.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he came in here thinking he was taking somebody's job. I mean, I think that's, I think he's just trying to get that learning curve up, and that's really it's the language barrier that is probably the biggest deterrent from, I guess, just chucking him in, because there's just so much communicating that goes on in a game, and you just can't. It's one goal is the difference in a game, could be a difference in your playoffs. So you really don't want it to fall on him because he just doesn't understand what's going on. That's not really fair.
So there isn't anybody playing poorly on Carolina's blue line. If somebody was playing so poorly that they had to make a change, yeah, I could see it. He ain't playing unless there's an injury. The more they practice, the more it's likely he's the first guy off the bench. And the fact right now that the Riley Stillmans of the world are not really practicing, Ty Smiths, they're not really practicing with the group, leads me to believe that Nikishin probably, or Morrow, because Morrow's now practicing with the main group, would be the first guy in. But it wouldn't be fair to Nikishin either, by the way, to put him in a situation where he's not ready. We got to stop. We got to be better than that. So he's not drawing in over anybody that Carolina's got, barring an injury. I talked to Rod about this before the playoffs even began. The system they ran at SKA St. Petersburg isn't the exact system. It's similar enough where it gives him a little bit of a head start, but man, it's tough. It's tough on veteran defensemen to come in and play. It'll be tough on him as well. All right, let's go to Kyle here. Kyle asks, what are your thoughts about Trent Alexander-Arnold? He didn't say Alexander-Arnold, but he said Trent, leaving Liverpool. And what is your favorite memory of him? The corner kick versus Barca in the Champions League. Gosh, that really predates my fandom, though I have seen the video of it. Interested to hear your perspective. I actually nearly tweeted about this today because there are a lot of Liverpool fans who are mad that Trent is leaving to go to Real Madrid. That he should stay because he's a kid from Liverpool. He is a Scouser, as we say. Anyway, he's been at the club since he was 6. He's been an academy kid. So he grew up at the club. And he has won everything that there is to win at Liverpool. Literally every possible trophy you could play for, he has won at least once. 2 Premier Leagues. He's won a Champions League, an FA Cup, a couple of League Cups, Club World Cup. He's won everything. So it does not bother me that he is leaving for Real Madrid. It does not bother me that Liverpool is getting no fee, no transfer fee. Had they sold him before the season, they could have gotten £125 million for him. Doesn't bother me that they're getting nothing for him. Trent accomplished and helped Liverpool accomplish all those things. My favorite moment that I saw, he has repeated several times, he is the best long-range passer of the ball that I have ever seen. And ever, for me, doesn't go back very far because I am a relatively new fan. But I don't think there's a player in the league who makes long-range passes look easier. And then when you watch them back on instant replay, you go, how in the world did he do that? So he made a pass to Mo Salah this year with the outside of his right foot, splitting 2 defenders and curling it around the defender on the right into the path of Salah. Like, no way you could have seen that, but he did. That is my favorite Trent Alexander-Arnold moment, other than the fact that he just helped us win the Premier League.
There you go.
There you go.
You want to do another one? I've got
Yeah,
more.
Let's go.
Okay, so you kind of addressed this, but I guess more so if you want to elaborate on what do you think guys think about the roster work that the GOAT Will Wade brought in? This is not my question. This is from the Twitter.
I mean, the kid they brought over from the international player is going to be a game changer for them defensively. They got bigger. They got more dynamic. They brought in guys who have played high-level matches, high-level games before. So this is not only is it a better team, a more talented team, a bigger team, a more physically developed team, but it is a team that has been through high-profile games. They should, right now, sight unseen, their roster is probably top 4 or 5 in the entire ACC. Might be better than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as good as Duke's. It might be as good as Carolina's. I don't know. Be close. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those guys actually play.
Yeah. Do you want another one? I have another one. This
Sure.
is also from my Twitter.
I have one more also.
Okay, this is about Mikko. So Levi wants to know: did you have any interactions with Mikko while he was here?
None.
Did you get the sense that Rod was correct when he said that he didn't want to be here?
Yeah, I could tell that from just watching him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, I did not speak to Mikko one-on-one. I never did. And, the games the home games, there weren't that many home games before Four Nations. And after Four Nations, we could all tell he didn't want to be here. And the Hurricanes are actually on the road a lot before they executed the trade. The problem with, Rantanen didn't want to be here. He never wanted to get traded from Colorado. He wanted to stay there. He thought at the very least, he would finish the year there. He never wanted to leave. And it wasn't that he didn't want to come here. He ultimately didn't. But he didn't want to go anywhere. And that the initial shock of the trade, you could tell immediately. Right? He said, early on, he said a lot of the right things. But you could tell his heart wasn't in it. You can tell when somebody is putting on a facade. And I'm not blaming him for that. What I didn't like was once he had checked out, his play checked out. That's what I didn't like. And I saw too much of it while I was watching the Hurricanes, especially in a handful of games I saw live. That Boston game, the day before the trade deadline, honestly, they had no business putting him on the ice. He did not try in that game. They won it because Boston's bad. He did not try in that game. And I don't even blame him. He should have never played, ever. But he sort of checked out on them mentally once he made the decision that he wasn't going to stay. So,
there were air quotes for anyone who's not watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, because it wasn't really just his decision. It was the girlfriend's. All right. From Scott, real quick. Who is your surprise team at the quarter pole of Major League Baseball? He thinks it might be the Mets. That is not my surprise team. The Mets are supposed to be good, even if I didn't believe it. You might say, Victoria, your Cubs.
Yes.
I played with, remember Alec?
Mm-hmm.
I played golf with him this weekend.
Oh, fun.
He's also a big Cubs fan.
Is he?
Excited. Yes.
How did we work in the same building?
I have no idea.
I didn't know this.
But my surprise team is not the Cubs, as much as they are crushing the ball. I think my surprise team is the Detroit Tigers at 9 games over 500 and one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. They just might be good enough to win the American League this year. Also, Oakland is over 500 playing in a minor league stadium.
Look at them go.
Yeah,
They just
exactly.
needed to change their environment.
Yeah, they needed to get to Sacramento.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll stretch really quickly, and then we'll place bets next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
During the sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Imagine a school where you can study AI and ancient Egypt, become a National Honor Student, join a cooking club, or code the next big video game, and do it all in a comfortable space. Your own home. Welcome to NC Cyber Academy, a K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school that provides you with a flexible, personalized education designed to prepare you for college and a career. Visit myncca.com and discover a learning experience that works for you, your family, and your future.
Do you know someone who's lost a loved one to overdose? Every day, the disease of addiction is taking lives and devastating families. But this crisis is preventable. Join the Governor's Institute in the Be a Superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Together, we can spread awareness, fight stigma, and save lives. Learn the signs of overdose. Know how to help. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero today, because doing nothing shouldn't be an option. Be a hero. Take action. Save a life.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today. To the people of North Carolina, for 70 years, you've helped to make PBS North Carolina a trusted friend in your home. We've watched history unfold with Henry Louis Gates Jr., explored new worlds with Mr. Rogers, and found treasures together on Antiques Roadshow. Your support has helped us continue teaching, entertaining, and inspiring generations. Celebrate with us when you watch new programming on PBS NC or stream anytime on the free PBS app. Learn more about PBS North Carolina at pbsnc.org.
Did you know that since you have public power, your electricity is operated and controlled by people in your community, not by a for-profit investor-owned company? These local folks are directly accountable to you. They don't answer to shareholders. They make decisions for the good of your community. What's more, your public power provider invests in your community, providing jobs and supporting your local economy. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
This is Adam Gold.
We had lightning hit a pretty large tree.
Oh, yeah.
About 150 yards from the house. It'll be my sign to go win the lottery. But you know what? I'm sorry, I can't. I have rules. If it's not over $1 billion, I'm not playing.
Yeah, still just millions.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. All right, we have lots to do. Not a lot of time to do it in. So a quick stretch, sort of like me going to the first tee, and then we will place bets.
Okay, so today will just all be about what you think today is Cinco de Mayo. So most Americans, about 40%, say it's Mexican Independence Day, while a quarter say it's to celebrate Mexican-American culture. Then there are some who just say it's a fun excuse to drink, and then
That's me.
I know.
I think it's an American holiday.
None of that is correct. So if you're doing trivia today, or if someone just asks you, it commemorates the Mexican victory over the French, which took place May 5th, 1862, 163 years ago. So
This is a World Cup match?
I know. The battle itself was not a major strategic win. The French took control of Mexico 2 years later, but it was a moral boost.
A moral victory.
Yes. It was. We talk about those.
Moral
It was a
victories
moral
don't count.
victory.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, of course, this article says, it asks people how they're going to kind of celebrate the day. And
Right.
everybody, most everybody's like, yeah, I want marks. Mexican food and marks.
Exactly.
And drink Mexican beers. So if that's what you plan on doing today, you do it well. Be safe because it might be rainy, but also you might be a little tempted to make some good bets.
Uh-oh.
Place your bets, place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, you shoot. Go first.
All right. So, all on the ice, Florida Panthers in Toronto taking on the Maple Leafs. So, I'm going to start with, I think maybe Sam Reinhart will be an anytime goal scorer. He's plus 190.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give you the team that is going to win all 4 series, parlay those, and exactly, count your money. Florida, Carolina, Dallas, Edmonton, plus 672.
Oh, okay. And then next, I'm just going to say that the Panthers are going to win today on the road, and I'll go with the under 5.5, plus 215.
Yeah, I think Florida will win game 1. All right, NBA, same thing. Knicks will lose to Boston. So Boston, Indiana upsets Cleveland. Minnesota, big favorite actually over the Warriors. And OKC, also a big favorite over Denver, plus 464.
Nice. And will there be a goal in the first 5 minutes? Sure, why not? Plus 175.
Oh, wow. All right. Premier League, end of match week 35. Crystal Palace home to Nottingham Forest. Palace wins. Mateta and Eze, each with either a goal or an assist. That's plus 388.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The draft tells me one thing for Bryce Young and the Panthers. It's put up or shut up time for the quarterback. They needed edge rushers. They needed safeties, corners, linebackers. So what did they do with the 8th overall pick? They got the number 1 wide receiver on their board. That is a message to Bryce. You better perform this year or else.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Hippolyta, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the Coast.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night? Worried about your finances in these crazy times? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. If you're like most people, you have racked up a sizable amount on your credit cards, and the monthly payment is not making a dent in it. It's time to call Loan Pronto. If you own a home, you have a super easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash. Loan Pronto has lots of options for helping you tap into the equity in your home and get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who do this end up wiping out all their credit card debt and cutting their monthly expenses by $1,000. Look, you didn't mean to end up here, but you don't have to keep stressing about money. Call Loan Pronto for fast debt relief now. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Again, the website, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Need a spot to cheer on the Canes? Join the Carolina Hurricanes crew at Carolina Ale House's Cary location for away game watch parties. They'll have giveaways, prizes, and more. Yeah, even Stormy will be there. Weather permitting, there'll be a lawn party with a giant TV next to the restaurant. Bring a folding chair and cause chaos. Carolina Ale House is an official partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. Or visit carolinaalehouse.com/Canes for more info. Carolina Ale House. Ale, yeah.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here. We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Murray holding. Murray against Dunn. Dribbles to the right. Double comes. Back dribble. Fading shot. Good! Oh, what a tough shot. 31-point lead in Game 7 for the Denver Nuggets. And this place is going wild. The Denver Nuggets, who got knocked out in a Game 7 at home a year ago, answer the bell in this 7th game. The Nuggets are on their way to a round 2 showdown with top seed Oklahoma City. Game 7 goes to Denver, 120 to 101.
Two good teams. Two amazing players. I have no idea who's going to win the MVP, and I haven't given a second of thought as to who should win the MVP in the NBA. But my guess is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic will be first and second in some fashion when they announce that award. And it bothers me, actually, that they announce it during the playoffs. To me, that's something that should be left until after the playoffs, but they always seem to announce it like in the middle of the second round, or maybe it's in the conference finals. It's just we should be waiting until the playoffs are over to it. I realize the awards, and people kind of lose focus on this, the awards are regular season awards. Now, I get why maybe some people think that we should include what happens at least early in the playoffs. If we kind of change the rules to involve the first round of the playoffs, I think that would be okay. But that's not what it is. It's a regular season award. So if you have a vote, whether it's in baseball or in basketball or whatever, your vote needs to be in before the end of the regular season. Like the Heisman, I am a Heisman voter. It's a very exclusive group of about 1,500 people. It's crazy how many people vote on that. Our votes have to be in the weekend after the conference championship games. So bowl games don't matter, right? They have to be in. Actually, it might even be the Monday or the day after the conference championship games. But I think sometimes they do extend it out. No, it's because the Heisman committee, the ceremony is I think the weekend of the Army-Navy game. So we got to have those votes in. Anyway, a lot of people do it before then. I usually wait until all the games are played and then send my vote in. But for professional sports, I mean, those are regular season awards. They have nothing to do with the postseason. And that is just the way they are. But I don't know why the NBA shouldn't be handing those out during the playoffs. All right, lots to do. Cory Smith from Pack Pride is going to join us in just a little bit. What I should have said in the answer to the question, one of the questions in the mailbag, to get deeper into the roster reconstruction by Will Wade, that's why Cory Smith's on the program.
Well, there you go.
So we're going to talk to him about it.
Right.
Because he would know better than I. Right now, if you go to NC State's website, GoPack, there's only 2 players on the basketball roster. Because the rosters, I guess, haven't just kind of been submitted. But there's got to be 8, 9 new players. It's crazy. All right, let's do a wall of sound.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's get right to it. The Washington Capitals have Alexander Ovechkin. You've heard of him, right?
Once or twice.
He is one of the top goal scorers in the history of the National Hockey League. I'm breaking that story. Anyway, Ovechkin, who always shows up in the same spot on the power play, does it change game planning?
Well, listen, every good team, they're all good, but some teams have special players that you obviously have to be aware to or game plan a little differently. I mean, you just have to. He's been a guy for years that everybody understands where he is and what he does, and it's just that's how he's elite, right? Still, I can't shut him down, so we'll do our best.
I love that at the end. We'll do our best.
We'll try hard. We'll try hard. Look, you know what he's going to do. He doesn't do much else, but he's going to be there for the entirety of the power play. That's what you know. The Capitals might have 2 power play units. He's on both of them. He's always out there. All right, Andrei Svechnikov. Wasn't it great to see him in the first round of the playoffs? Now we need to see him in the second round of the playoffs. And he talks about round 2 and all of that.
I wouldn't say, first round, they felt the same, to be honest. It's a playoff, you kind of never know, but like you said, we've been in the second round so many times, and hopefully, we're going to move that experience to this round and going to give us our best chance.
What we need from Andre is simply to play. I keep saying this about him. I hope people understand. The goals will come. If Andre plays the way he played in games 4 and 5, physical, impactful even without getting on the score sheet, what happens is, oh, look at that. He's on the score sheet. As much as anybody, his process is the most important thing. Because he can go several games in a row without scoring. As long as he's playing the right way, it helps other people score. He is Carolina's difference maker. Been saying this for such a long time. They are not going to beat Washington unless he has a good series. That's it. Flat out. Andre has to have he doesn't have to have an amazing series, but if he has a good series, Canes can beat the Capitals.
And stay out of the box, please.
Let me real quick about that. It doesn't bother me. It depends on the type of penalties Andre takes. I don't mind him taking penalties. Yeah, you don't want him to be silly penalties in the offensive zone that are unnecessary. But I got no problem. A penalty of aggression, I'm okay with Andre taking those.
Well, they're going to need that with Washington. Aggression, they're going to need it, so that's fine.
Like, it all depends on the type of penalties that Andre takes, but just go north and south. Just keep going north and south, Andre. Everybody will be happy. All right, real quick, before we have to get out of here for Cory Smith. So the Warriors beat the Rockets last night in Game 7 on the road. They got blown out in Game 5 in Houston. They lost at home in Game 6. They were never, ever the better team in Game 6, ever. And all of a sudden, they got back to the business of defending and grinding out a game. Thank you, Jimmy Butler. What did you take away from the series?
I'm going to take how resilient we are as a group, coming from where they were, post-trade before I got here, and the way that everybody locked in and made me feel welcome, and we took off this way. And we never wavered. The confidence never went anywhere. Really good group of hoopers, really good group of people. So that's what I'm going to take into this next round is we got guys that can play at an extremely high level, and on any given night, it could be anybody's night.
They do. I mean, I don't think they have that many guys. Buddy Hield played a game out of his mind. But ultimately, if they have any chance of beating the Timberwolves, Steph and Jimmy are going to have to combine 55 points a game. They're going to have to average a combined 55 points to have a chance to beat the Timberwolves. If they do that, you know what? I give them a chance because they can get enough defense out of Draymond Green and maybe overcome Minnesota's advantage in athleticism. Real quick, I had one more question from the mailbag before we break. This comes from Blue Sky. Stuart, who is... I moved over. I try to do as much stuff on Blue Sky as I can because there's less negativity. Nobody told that to Stuart. Stuart, how long before all the local media starts complaining about which goalkeeper the Canes need to trade for next year, before or after the Washington series ends, since it's the same two as this year, and that's all the media did this year? That isn't what the media did, Stuart. That is what Hurricanes Twitter does, which on Hurricanes Twitter, that's fine. Like, the media doesn't sit around going, the Hurricanes need to trade for this. If anything, the media has been, Piotr's fine.
Yeah. I know. Maybe Stuart needs a margarita or 3. That's what we
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Yes. I did say, and I have said several times, that if the Hurricanes want to win a Stanley Cup, their goaltending needed to be better. Freddie Anderson is playing at a level where you can win a Stanley Cup with Freddie right now. But, of course, I was saying this when Freddie was unavailable, when the Hurricanes were trying to get by with Spencer Martin and Dustin Tokarski. That ain't good. Cory Smith is good. Pack pride. We will talk about the remade roster for men's basketball by Will Wade. We'll also ask, if you're not going to care, don't do the siren, Will. Don't. Cory Smith next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Need more Stanley Cup chatter, Canes fans? Listen afternoons at 12:15 and 4:15 for our Cup Check-In. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Adam Gold talks with hockey's best past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup Check-In on 99.9 The Fan. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs, or visit carolinaalehouse.com/Canes.
Hey, it's Victoria from 99.9 The Fan. I'm with Jerry from Law Tigers. It's writing season. The sun is out like the pollen. One thing that we have to be mindful of is, we don't have these walls around these motorcycles. Tell us about the importance of just being cognizant. It's the season.
You get to the point where you've done everything you should do, and now we have to be cognizant about all the other riders on the road. So in the event that you have an accident, it's often likely that it wasn't your fault. And if you have an accident with injury, one of the things you want is a motorcycle attorney to represent you. And at Law Tigers here in North Carolina, we have 4 motorcycle attorneys, and they all ride. The attorney who has the experience of being a motorcyclist makes a difference when they take your case, A, because they're probably going to understand your injury better than anybody else is. And the injuries tend to be significantly worse.
Thanks again, Jerry. And that, again, is lawtigers.com or 1-800-LAW-TIGERS.
Carolina baseball hosts the NC State Wolfpack this weekend at Boshamer Stadium for a 3-game matchup. This series begins Thursday, May 8th at 6 p.m. The first 750 fans in attendance will get the last trading card pack of the 2025 Diamond Heels. The second game of the series is May 9th at 6 with fireworks and Michael Busch bobblehead night. The series finale and senior day is Sunday, May 11th at 1 p.m. Tickets for this rivalry series are going fast, so get your tickets today at GoHeels.com.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Adam Gold.
I did love that Rod video with him, though, when he was trying to communicate.
Yeah, you speak hockey.
And he was like, it's okay, you don't need to know this, you know hockey. And I was like, oh, heartstrings. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos today. Did you see the movie La Bamba?
I did not.
It was pretty good.
But I enjoy the song.
Yeah, it's a good
very
song.
peppy.
It is very.
I don't know what they're saying other than La Bamba.
Nor do I. But the movie was very good.
Oh, there you go.
First time I ever saw The Grateful Dead, they played this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. First time I ever saw the Dead, they played this. They also, for people who are Grateful Dead fans, they opened the show with Ico, which is just an amazing way to open a show and to open your Grateful Dead fandom. I don't know if Cory Smith is a Grateful Dead fan or not. He probably isn't because he's a young person. Cory Smith, at Cory R. Smith. I'm sorry, R. Cory Smith. Get that wrong. At R. Cory Smith on Twitter. Pack Pride. Sir, how are you doing? You're going to have to help me make sense of the NC State men's basketball roster.
I'm doing well. I'm not a deadhead.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah,
you don't have to apologize.
That was a little before my time, but yeah, no, I understand. So, but yeah. I mean, I'm going to try to help you as best as I can make sense of this roster. It's coming together. It's still coming together. You know, at this point, 10 pieces together out of the 13, and a couple more on the way that they feel comfortable with. So.
All right, let's start with let's go through like position groups, if you will. He brought a couple of players in with him from McNeese State, but they have dipped into teams that went into the Elite Eight. They have an international player. Let's just start in the backcourt. I know Paul McNeil stuck around, but how many new faces are there on the backcourt?
Yeah, so Paul McNeil is the one player that they have coming back from last year. And as you mentioned, two guards coming over from McNeese State with Kadir Copeland, who, NC State fans obviously remember from his time at Syracuse, and a lot of ACC fans remember from his time at Syracuse. Alan Breed, both of those guys, 4-star transfers out of McNeese State, so that tells you just how productive they were at McNeese. Alan Breed missed nearly all of last season with injury, but a guy that, his first two games, and one of them came against Alabama where he was averaging, 17 points per game. So he can be that type of scorer. He was known as a great defender during his time at Providence. So you get two guys in that have good size, also, elite offensive players and guys that can be two-way players. Trey Holloman is the other one to know as far as the point guard position. Coming over from Michigan State, has 1 year left to play, and a guy that, was a captain under Tom Izzo last year. Tom Izzo doesn't hand out those C's very often, so you know that he's a great leader. And then another guy that, might not be included necessarily in, a lot of talks about the backcourt, but Matt Abel, five-star, the 5-star signee for NC State, just won the 3-point shootout this past weekend for the Iverson Classic. He's a guy that, a top 30 overall player. So he's the top, the highest ranked signee since Dennis Smith, which, obviously not a lot of people at NC State want to talk about that name as much anymore. But, a guy that for NC State, you get Matt Abel that is not only a great shooting guard and somebody that can shoot from outside, but also has great size at 6'5", pushing 200 pounds. So another great player in the backcourt for NC State that they add to.
Cory Smith, Pack Pride, at R. Cory Smith on Twitter. Before we get back to guards or wings, the international kid that they just signed, it's not a transfer portal. He's transferring from overseas. So now everything, I saw a couple of highlight packages on him. He looks long. He looks defensively oriented. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Paul Mbia is his name. Comes over from Congo, and a guy that 6'11", averaged this past season averaged 15.5, 11.5 rebounds, and again, we have him listed. The last time I checked, he was 6'11", 233 pounds. I've seen some list him at 250, 260 pounds. So, I don't know how much muscle he's necessarily added. I don't think he's up to 260 pounds, but we'll see once he gets to NC State. Also somebody that has a massive wingspan. From what I've seen, over 7.5, 7 foot, 6 inches wingspan. So he brings that to NC State, and somebody that, he's just a dominant big man. Like you think of the old school, bigs. He can stretch outside. He does do that a little bit, but he's just somebody that you really want to stay in the post. I believe in the comment that, Will Wade came out with, he said he feels like he can be one of the best rebounders in the ACC and just be a dominant big man that they really, really need. And like I said, 6'11", has great size, somebody that just wants to dunk everything that he gets his hands on, rebound the ball well for you. And, he's somebody that with that wingspan, a great rim protector on the other end of the floor too. So you get a little bit of everything in him that you desperately needed in this system. You've added a lot of shooters. You've added a lot of 3-and-D type guys, but getting somebody like this that can rebound the ball well for you, either dunk it, put it back, or kind of initiate offense again for you, that's exactly what NC State needed.
Cory Smith is joining us from Pack Pride here. What category would you put Terrence Arsenault in other than he's 6'6", he's versatile, can be a 2, can be a 3, probably can even play some small ball 4 for you, but he comes from a program that epitomizes toughness. To me, of all the signings, I mean, you never know how everything's going to work out, but I think I like him about as much as anybody.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenault, obviously, as far as the type of player he is, defensively, we know what he's capable of. He's been a great defender for Houston. You don't play in that system if you're not good enough defensively. Right. So for him to be, a part-time starter and a guy that they really felt good about his sophomore year, didn't quite have as much opportunity last year because the torn Achilles during his sophomore year, was working his way back, but still played in 40 games this past season with Houston, a team that went all the way to the national championship game. That tells you, again, similar to Trey Holloman, how much faith some of the best coaches in the country have in these types of players. It tells you a lot about who they could potentially be. But Terrence Arsenault is somebody that still hasn't quite scratched the surface, when it comes to what he can be offensively. And that's weird to say 3 years into his career. But like I said, one of those was burned by not playing much. Only played in 11 games, I believe, his sophomore year. But he was a top 40 type player coming out of high school. So if he can be that type of guy offensively, stretch the floor for you a little bit, along with being, just kind of a menace on the defensive end, which is what you get in Paul Mbia, which is what you get in Kadir Copeland, which is what you get in Trey Holloman. Like those types of players, you're seeing a trend of what Will Wade wants from not only his, guys that can create offensively for you, but be kind of those, bad boys, be a menace on the defensive end of the floor too.
Yeah, there's no question that the defensive tenacity of this team is going to be vastly different than it was under Kevin Keatts. And I'm not trying to disparage anything Kevin Keatts did. I think Kevin Keatts did a good job here. I think COVID definitely interrupted a lot of what they were trying to build, and I don't think people really understood just how much of a disruption that thing could have been. He never really was able to establish any roster continuity in his time here. It remains to be seen whether Will Wade will also, because this is becoming very transactional year in and year out. But year one, we're not looking for continuity. We're looking for a team that can win games. I don't know that I wouldn't put this roster right now in the top 3 or 4 of the league.
Yeah, one aspect about it, too, you talk about trying to have some roster continuity. As of right now, Allen Breed, I'm told, could potentially have multiple years, too. So he is a guy that I think the expectation for a lot of NC State fans was he'd only have 1 year. That puts you right now, if he has multiple years, that puts you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, or 8 guys currently on the roster that have multiple years. So that again, that's not to say you're going to keep all of those guys for multiple years because of the way the college basketball works. But if you can have over half your roster that you keep on a year-to-year basis, I mean, you think about what Louisville was capable of doing this past offseason. The way that they went out and they said, all right, we know what guys we have coming back. Now we're going to go add 3 of the best guards in the country and just make this, this team just take it to the next level. And so I think for NC State, it was about going out and finding the best fits but also finding players that you can truly develop and not only have success this year, but try to have as much success the following year and try to keep as much of that nucleus together in the starting five to truly go out and say, all right, we're not only building the baseline right now, but we're building what we could be the following years too.
All right, final thing for Cory Smith at @Cory Smith on Twitter, Pack Pride. So you mentioned that there are, they feel good about a couple more players. I don't know if you are at liberty to say who those players are, but what areas I could say that they need some size. They need more size on their roster. You could always use another guy who can shoot. So what are they looking at? And do you feel good about it?
Yeah, there's another international big man that they've been looking at, and I'll leave that for the boards. We've discussed that a little bit,
sure.
But one other guy, and that's a guy that can play kind of the 4 and 5 position for you too, and another high upside type of player, similar to Paul Mbia, but hasn't been quite as on the NBA draft radars as he has. The other one is PJ Haggerty, a guy that from Memphis that would be we've talked a lot about some of these players, but that would be kind of the crown jewel of this class, a guy that finished last year 3rd in the NCAA in scoring overall with almost 22 points per game. And that type of scorer for you that you truly need to draw a lot of attention away from guys like Trey Holloman, to draw a lot of attention away from guys like Terrence Arsenault, to allow them to become better players too on the offensive end of the floor. And if that happens, which it sounds like NC State is very close to closing in on that, that would be, again, you're talking about being one of the top rosters right now in the ACC. If you have that type of guy added to your system, somebody that is just an elite scorer, something that NC State truly hasn't had in a while. You think of DJ Horn, you think of, Jarkel Joyner, those types of players, Terquavion Smith, but none of them averaged over 20 points per game. And that, to me, if you're able to get a PJ Haggerty, that would be a massive get for what is already a good roster in the ACC.
All right, final thing for Cory Smith. Can you rate, I don't know if you saw it or not. If you didn't see it, then you can't rate it. Did you see Will Wade's attempt at the siren for the Hurricanes?
I did. I think, I liked it. I know you didn't enjoy it. But the one thing I will say, I give it probably an 8 out of 10. Ooh. I did see it. It didn't feel, it wasn't as enthusiastic as, what we've seen. Like, God, I thought Steve Smith was one of the best I've ever seen.
Smith was great.
Went ham. But, the one thing I will say is you can't argue with the results. I was texting with you about this the other day. He started the series, and the Carolina Hurricanes win the series. The very next day, he goes out and throws the first pitch for NC State baseball against Clemson, and they sweep the series, the best series they had the whole season. So, you can't argue with the results. He hasn't shown up to an L so far. So
that's a very good point. It is a very good point. What's funny is that when he was on this show, I don't know how many weeks ago it is now, I was going to joke with him about, hey, if you're ever going to wind the siren at a Canes game, ask Dave Doran how it's done.
Yeah.
Because Dave is as good as anybody. I agree. Steve Smith was amazing. Yeah. Dave Doran is as good as anybody at cranking that siren. He puts everything into it. My criticism of Will was that he was just kind of nonchalanting it, and you can't do that. It's too hard to do. If you don't really put your effort into it, it's just not going to do anything. I think they had to enhance the sound.
Yeah, I think he'd like for maybe Paul Mbia to get on that next season and really show how it's done, right?
There you go.
6'11" big man with between 240 and 260 pounds. Yeah, I think he'd be able to do it pretty well for him next season.
That's exactly right. Cory Smith from Pack Pride. Hey, thank you very, very much for having fun.
All right, appreciate it, Adam. Have a good one.
You too, Cory Smith here. That was my whole thing when I saw him do it. It's just like, yeah. Like, no, man, we need you here.
Yeah, you can't do that going.
We need this.
Do the siren, no.
But no. Cory does bring up a good point. You going to argue with a dub? No. The answer is no.
Right.
And we're not going to. All right. When we come back, we'll rewind. Also, The culture of Carolina Hurricanes hockey is what happened in 2019. We talk about Hurricanes culture. That is what we're talking about, 2019. And we're getting a walk down memory lane at times when we face the Washington Capitals in this series coming up, which starts tomorrow. A little bit on that and a rewind next.
From the heels,
touchdown, Carolina,
to the Canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
During this sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. The NBA Conference semifinals are here, and even though we are without a king, no more monarchy in the NBA playoffs, we are still ready for you. And FanDuel, for new customers, $200 in bonus bets await when you place your first $5 wager. You don't even have to win it. How good is that? FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. The NBA Conference semifinals in full swing. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Imagine a school where you could study AI and ancient Egypt, become a national honor student, join a cooking club, or code the next big video game, and do it all in a comfortable space. Your own home. Welcome to NC Cyber Academy, a K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school that provides you with a flexible, personalized education designed to prepare you for college and a career. Visit myncca.com and discover a learning experience that works for you, your family, and your future.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment. They fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the overdose battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
This is Adam Gold.
We had lightning hit a pretty large tree.
Oh, yeah.
About 150 yards from the house. It'll be my sign to go win the lottery. But you know what? I'm sorry, I can't. I have rules. If it's not over $1 billion, I'm not playing.
Yeah, still just millions.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. So we have really enjoyed a Hurricanes renaissance as a franchise over the 7 years under head coach Rod Brindamore, the 7 years of full Tom Dundon ownership, all of that. And we talk about Hurricanes culture and all of that, and certainly core players. Jordan Staal has been here for all of it. Jordan Martinook has been here for all of it. Sebastian Aho has been here for all of it. Andrei Svechnikov, Jacob Slavin for all of it. What was so emotional for me, and I think a lot of Hurricanes fans, in the series they just played was dealing with Brett Pesce on the other side and going through that handshake line, and you could tell, like, he's, you know, Brett won't admit it. I don't blame him for not admitting it, but you could pretty much tell there's a good chunk of Brett that's still here.
Yeah.
And you could tell by those interactions. You could tell. Anyway, but when we get to Hurricanes culture, we talk about, well, this is what Rod Brindamore instilled, or Justin Williams, who, by the way, we will talk to tomorrow on the program. That culture allowed that opening round series upset win of Washington to happen. Now, maybe you could say, well, the Capitals had just won the Stanley Cup, and maybe they took Carolina for granted. I don't know what would have you take anything for granted when you're in a Game 7. Capitals won the first 2 games. Game 2 was an overtime game. Carolina opened up their home playoff schedule. Game 3 in one of the most deafening buildings I have ever been in my life. And it was like it was a different towel every game, right? I have some of those towels, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they went on eBay for like...
Yeah, I haven't put any on eBay.
No.
It would be cool to have like Rod sign them, but I really don't. I don't keep mementos like that. I just have them.
That would be difficult to sign a towel, too. Thinking
about
it.
You can sign a towel. Just
really
stretch it out. Hold it tight.
Yeah, tag team.
Yeah, exactly. But that series is the beginning of what we have experienced for 7 years. Now, I don't know if that doesn't happen, if they don't beat Washington, if they don't sweep the Islanders and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals in the first year. I don't know that this wouldn't have happened anyway. We have no way of knowing. But that series was evidence of what all the stuff that we love about this team, about what all the things that, for the people who love the sport, look at about this team and see the good in, even though we sometimes see more of the warts because we see them every day. And this speaks, I think, why to the betting public, by and large, loves the Hurricanes. But it all traces back to 2019. And they win Game 3 5-0. It's an utter blowout. But, of course, Game 3 is the Ovechkin-Svechnikov. I'd call it a fight, except it wasn't a fight. Alex threw one punch. We were done. Andre did not show up again until, I believe, the Boston series. So, Andre, it was a big part of that team, but really played very little role in Carolina advancing all the way to the conference finals, where they got swept by the Bruins. Could have won Game 1. That would have been something. But they win Game 3 in a blowout. They win Game 4 by a 2-1 score. Teuvo Teravainen scored just before the end of the second period, and Carolina held on to win it 2-1. They go to Washington and get absolutely trucked in Game 5. Trucked. Lost 6-0 in Game 5. And then they come home. My memory is of a obviously hobbled Jordan Martinook that really doesn't have much to give except his inspiration. And in the beginning, because he had to fight through a lot of injuries first couple of years, that was worth a lot. Now we see the player he is. But at that point, we saw more of the emotional leader that he was. Remember, Martinook meant a ton to Andre during his rookie year. That's where Mr. Svechnikov was born that year. Martinook knew how to get the most out of this rookie. And the numbers for Andre were not amazing as a rookie, but Martinook knew how to get it out of him. And then Carolina comes back and wins Game 6, 5-2. We all remember Game 7. They fall behind 2 goals early. Aho gets him one back early in the second period with a shorthanded goal. It's a rebound goal, but I've watched all the highlights now. Washington pushes back ahead 3-1 before Teravainen scores to make it 3-2. They go to the third period. It's a 3-2 Washington game. Jordan Staal inside of 3 minutes, and I talked to him about it. Again, that conversation will be part of the pregame show tomorrow. I talked to him about it, and he remembers the details of the play. End of a shift. Washington is a little tired. They can't get the puck out. He sees an opportunity, even though he's tired, and he ends up beating Braden Holtby to tie the game. And that is the end of the scoring in regulation. I remember Carolina dominating the first overtime, but just not scoring. And you're wondering, man, are they going to have all of that advantage and not get anything out of it? And then Ovechkin or somebody like that, man, they'll beat us one shot. But Carolina kept pushing. And Justin Williams had the puck in the corner to the right of Holtby. We're in the second overtime. We're about midway through. And all he did was throw it in front. And Sebastian Aho was there, and Brock McGinn was there. And it was McGinn who redirected the puck past Holtby, and Carolina wins the game. Double overtime on the road, Game 7. Just unbelievable. That team was one of the best teams by record in the NHL the second half of the year. They were like 31-12-7, something silly like that. From the day before New Year, it wasn't New Year's Eve, I think it was the 30th of December, all the way through the end of the season. They were outstanding. But it's one thing to be winning those games in the regular season. It's another thing entirely to stare down the defending champs on their ice in Game 7 when most people didn't think you had a chance. I do remember this about that year. Tampa hadn't won yet either. Carolina and Columbus, which made a whole bunch of moves at the trade deadline, and didn't trade Sergei Bobrovsky and Artemi Panarin. I forget who they also brought in. But Columbus ended up with one of the best rosters in the NHL. And I remember thinking, man, Columbus at plus 240, the Hurricanes at plus 280, which wagering wasn't legal then. Those would have been great bets. Great bets. And they both would have cashed. I went on the news. I went on the WRAL news, the noon news that might have been morning, the day before the series started in Washington, and said Canes in 7. Now, that wasn't a homer pick. Well, it was, but I thought they would win the series. I thought Carolina was better than they were being given credit for. I thought they had a season's worth of momentum carrying themselves into the playoffs. And there was something about the team that was not going to allow themselves to just be happy getting there. And this is where the culture began. 2019 is where it all started. And I think it continues this week or the next 2 weeks. A fortnight, if you will, as we get into the Summer Grand Slam tennis series. I do think for the next 2 weeks, we are going to really enjoy watching the Carolina Hurricanes. I think it's a long series. I think the Hurricanes will win it. I think they will win it just like they did in 2019 in Game 7 in Washington and move on. Only this time it will not be the Islanders awaiting them.
Yeah.
It will be the Florida Panthers.
I hope so. My blood pressure is not looking forward to it, but I hope
so. It's going to be a blast. All right, now we have time for a rewind. All right, let's start. Dan Wetzel, ESPN. All right, I know it's just the gossip. Your view on the Jordan Hudson experience here, sir.
Yeah, so like what I was writing was really a football part. Look, you have a relationship between two people that are 49-year age difference. It's interesting, intriguing. It's gonna create.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it just is. And there's going to be like these awkward things. You have a 24-year-old who's on social media, and you have a 73-year-old who used to call it face mask, and and now he's posing as a fisherman in a Halloween thing. Like some of the stuff's just, it's going to be awkward, and it's either funny or it's crazy. Whatever people's reaction to all that is totally correct. If they think, boy, this is really somebody that age shouldn't date someone that age, fine. If they say, hey, who cares, fine. I don't really care. I'm not here to tell you. My thing last week was just, I mean, you're getting the school should fire him.
Yeah.
He's going to be distracted. He's got his girlfriend's around the program. Like every coach's wife is around the program.
Yep.
I mean, Mac Brown would talk about his wife all the time.
Sally. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sally.
Miss Terry and Nick Saban.
Miss Terry's hosting recruits. Mickey Krzyzewski's this is the wives are part of the program.
Yeah.
So the idea that, oh my goodness, his significant other is on an email thread is not news. It would be if she is if we find out she is in the film room breaking down Clemson's, jet suite. Now I'd be like, okay, this other stuff is just way overblown for football. And my thing with Belichick is he's always coached in chaos. I think he thrives on it and he invites it. And so when Patriots were charged with Spygate, right, filming, and this is a big scandal, they go win the Super Bowl. When Tom Brady is accused of deflating the footballs in the AFC Championship, they go win the Super Bowl. When Brady gets suspended, they go win the Super Bowl. Or they didn't win it with Spygate. They went 16-0, though.
Oh.
Okay. Aaron Hernandez is, one of his players is standing trial for murder. They go win the Super Bowl. He's feuded with everybody. There's always something going on with Belichick. It's loud. He's quiet, but it's loud. It's a lot of passive aggressive. It's whatever. Generally speaking, he wins. Now, did they win at the end without Brady? No, but he held it together for longer than anybody, multiple runs. I'm not worried about his ability to coach the team, teach the team, recruit, all of those things. I don't think this is elder abuse. I don't think this guy doesn't know what's going on. Like, he just got out of control. Like, come on. Bill Belichick.
I know.
He's going to be fine. That doesn't mean I think they're going 12-0, but I don't. If they were going 10-2, they're still going to go 10-2. If they were going to go 6-6, they're still going. This is just not it. It's just he is not going to be a factor in his ability to do the job. It's just he has a really understandably interesting personal relationship right now, but it's May.
That was a fun part of that conversation. Now to the football part of it. And I said to Dan that based on what we know about the roster, UNC is going to need all of Bill's wizarding skills to put this team in a better position to win than last year.
Absolutely. It's not like Mac Brown was a bad coach. I mean,
right.
He's not taking over a 1-11 program. So what can he do at North Carolina? And it's hard to make that last jump, and it's really hard if you aren't at a certain type of school that has had that advantage, and talent wins out. So I'm not really expecting anything huge from Belichick. In 2-3 years, could they win the ACC? Could they be in the playoff? That type of stuff. I think those are reasonable goals. But I'm not. He's not. It's not that. As much as there's an occasional snafu of forgetting to take the knee, it's not like you can just come in. Belichick's old offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss, right? He took over at Notre Dame and declared that there would be schematic advantage,
yes.
Yeah, and there wasn't. Okay, or the schematic advantage is too complicated for the players to run.
Right.
There's some of that. I've seen NBA coaches come back to college basketball and go, "Why does no one run a 2-for-1 at the end of a half?" Well, it's because they just can't. Right. The players are just not capable of pulling it off.
You can do it. You just run two bad. You just run two bad plays.
Bad forced plays. Yeah. Like Krzyzewski and Dean, and they thought of it. They just couldn't get it done. So at some point, it's just the way it is. You don't have whatever Chris Paul or Jason Kidd or whoever your point guard is running it. So we'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. But it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be a really interesting guy to have in the league. He's a big personality. I think Carolina fans will appreciate him. He can be really interesting with the media. I know the perception he's just gruff and mean, but it really depends on his mood and what questions you ask and things like that. He also can be just absolutely fascinating. He'll give 5-minute answers on certain topics, and so I think this is going to be really interesting.
I think it is too. The only thing Dan and I disagreed about was, and I do believe that I'm going to be correct about this, there will be more attention paid to UNC football than any football program in history for this year. The year one is going to be the ultimate fascination. I also think that the people applying the Jordan Hudson relationship issues to football are the people who just think that it was going to fail anyway, which is, again, I guess is fair. Victoria, thank you very much. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Justin Williams joins us tomorrow. Bye.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The conference semifinals are here in the NBA playoffs, and that means FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is taking it up a notch, just like the league is taking it up a notch. And right now, you can get all of your performance trends right inside the app, the best app that there is in making the games just mean a little bit more, right? The FanDuel Sports app, you need to get it. If you don't already have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action, and you can get started with $200 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AdamGold, FanDuel.com/AdamGold for the playoffs. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required.